Hey, what's up, everybody? It's out. I know we put out a video for Remnant earlier. I might as well just take it down, but I'll leave it up because the patch notes are out, and we are just gonna get right into this. We're gonna see we're gonna do it live. We'll see what they have to say. So let's do it. Make sure you guys like and subscribe, and thank everybody who has been. All right, here we go. This is the big old Remnant page. And we have the update. A new major update brings improvements and a special event. So it looks like there will be a new event that's happening right now called the Aberration Domination Event. Embrace the eerie atmosphere as the veil between realms grows thin, granting the root an opportunity to unleash a horde of menacing aberrations across all worlds from October 27th to the 31st. That's like a little Halloween event. Gear up and face this haunting challenge head on, defeat sinister foes, and collect the elusive corrupted shards. Take the shards to the Igmatic Dwell in War 13, where you can trade these shards to craft corrupted versions of some special weapons. Ah, okay. I don't really know what this is, but that is awesome. I'm really happy that they have an event going on. It's so fast, though, man. FOMO stuff always sucks, but hey, that is something is better than nothing and very unexpected. So we'll definitely have to log in tomorrow and check out this Aberration Domination event and see what kind of corrupted weapons they've got. So let's get right into these patch notes, okay? Well, and then we can cover anything. I haven't read these yet, so this is pretty much live. Pretty much it is live. We've got performance and crashes updates, so optimizations to improve performance in many areas of the game, performance issues with the Annihilation boss fight, the Bloat King boss fight, the Mother Mind boss fight. They fixed an issue where players would get stuck on the initial splash screen. Issue with the Soulbinder mod during the second phase of the Shahala fight. Potentially a crash fix and tentacle attack that would cause too many vines to appear and affect performance. So there's nothing crazy there. We've got some overall performance, which is going to happen in every QOL update, right? In terms of quality of life, so this is where we're going to get into some of the bigger things. They've improved the evade detection as client and multiplayer games. So I believe part of this QOL patch was also to clean up co-op, and this is some of the ways that they did that. Dev note: we've made some changes that should noticeably increase the responsiveness of evading while in co-op. So there you go. And I know this was a big problem for a lot of people. We'll obviously check this out. I'll definitely log in on and give these a go. Updated the multiplayer join process to make it smoother. That's awesome. Clients can now join at or near the host location instead of automatically starting in spectator mode. Oh, that's really nice. Unless the host is in a boss fight or an event region. That's a very good change. And they added loadouts. Players can now create a gear preset and then recall it with a single button press. This includes weapons, mods, mutators, archetypes, skills, relics, fragments, etc. Loadouts will also save and recall traits, but will only recall them if you have the Orb of Undoing in your inventory. Loadouts cannot be used in combat. That's actually a really solid loadout system. So it sounds like you're going to actually be able to save loadouts, and as long as you're not in combat and you have an Orb of Undoing, you can literally just insta-swap to a completely new setup. So that's pretty great, especially if you're in a boss fight, die a whole bunch of times, and you're like, you know what, let me try my other one. And you can just click a button and do that. That's always really good in games like this. So that's super exciting to see that they really fleshed out how loadouts were added in here. Progression balance. In this patch, we wanted to clean up armor and damage and DR. There was a large discrepancy between different armors when considering armor granted versus weight. Some armors would grant incredible armor per weight point. Others would fall behind greatly. Our goal was to smooth this out, and we did this by creating a curve where light armor has the most efficient ratio of armor granted per weight cost, and heaviest armor was the least efficient, but still grants more than light. There are a few variances, but lighter armor sets and individual pieces will have a higher armor weight ratio. Okay. So it's just really going to come down to fat rolls. I mean, that's really what they're saying. With this change, we've also moved some armor weight values around to make sure we could maintain a proper ratio across the board. And because of this, some armors gained weight, like Challenger's armor, for example. But to compensate, they've made an adjustment to Strong Back, which you can read about. Okay. In addition, they fixed stamina cost penalty for each armor weight class so that they represent a better trade-off between DR weight and stamina cost. What this means is that the heaviest will have a stronger stam cost for stamina-based actions. Okay, so outside of just having my voice is still all over the place, y'all. Outside of just having like fat rolls, essentially, if you're gonna go heavy, you're gonna essentially take a cost to your roll and take a cost to your actual stamina in terms of running, rolling, all of it. And they're saying light armor and medium armor will maintain their +2 and +1 iframe buffs. So it sounds like they really just made it so heavy armor is made for that sort of tank where you get in between light and medium is how much of this iframing you want to do in more dodge style attacks, which is also something we're just gonna have to like play to see. With these armor changes, we've made a bunch of adjustments to the utility and survivability items so that players who want to wear armor that grants less survivability than Leto's 1 and 2 have more survivability options in the trinkets and more reasons to use many of the other utility items as well. The goal here is to make this a real investment required to go a full DR. We have absolutely no problem with players hitting a DR cap and being extremely tanky, but because it was so easy before, many of the survivability items were regulated to your bags. It also meant that many of the armors were tossed aside to go MK2 above all else. I mean, that's whatever. This is a whatever paragraph. I mean, it's weird to justify like, well, we really wanted you to use this and you weren't, so like you need to use it. And this is a single player game with no leaderboards and no PvP. So I get it. Some items weren't being used because you could just rock MK2 and be good. This is gonna go two way. You know, we've already talked about this, but people are gonna be upset, and some people aren't gonna care, and some people will probably like it. In general, it's just a hard change when it's just a single player game. So armor adjusted the armor weight to ratio on all armor sets, and the class stamina penalty for medium heavy and ultra heavy. Traits, they changed the behavior of strong back from granting reduced encumbrance to increased weight class threshold. So this we talked about as well. That it's not reducing encumbrance, it's increasing your weight class threshold. So if you're wearing really heavy armor, that threshold in which you lose your dodge roll and get fat roll and all this other stuff will go down with the strong back trait now on Challenger. So you can wear heavier armor and get a better roll. So for gear and items, a lot of buffs here, and looks like some nerfs. Leto's amulet, they've increased the stamina reduction from 15 to 30. Twisted Idol, they increased the armor boost from 30 to 35. Alchemy Stone, the lifesteal up 1%. Amber Moonstone, health threshold increase 30 to 35. Bisected Ring, reduced incoming damage penalty 25 to 15. Blessed Ring, duration 15 to 30 seconds. That's a 50% bonus there. The Blood Tinged Ring, they range from 10 to 25. Booster Ring, increased all status resistances 10 to 25. But that actually could be really good now. Burden of Audacious, reduced healing penalty from -75 to -50, and they've increased the healing from 15 to 20. Cleansing Stone, increased the range 7 to 20, and the healing from 15 to 25. Conservation Seal, increased relic save chance 3 to 5% per stack. Dran's Scavenger Sigil, increased healing 10 to 15. Dying Ember, Lifesteal 5 to 6, encrypted. Okay, so these are the survivability buffs we're looking at right here. This is what they're saying is going to offset the armor changes. Encrypted Loop, increased healing 10 to 20, which there's definitely some big healing changes in here. Excess Coil, increased shield duration 10 to 15 seconds. Fey Bruiser Ring, duration up to 15 seconds. The Shaman Ring, they've increased the region from 0.25 to 0.334. Oh, that could be good too. Guardian's Ring, duration 10 to 15. Low Yield Recovery Ring, they've increased the healing 5 to 6 and its duration from 5 seconds to 6 seconds. Navigator's Pendant, they've increased the health and stamina from 20 to 25. And then looks like the Rusted version, they've increased the health and stamina 15 to 20. Reaping Stone, Lifesteal. You can make a good Lifesteal build, I bet, right now. Increased Lifesteal 2 to 3%. Rewriting Cable, reduced stamina threshold 25 to 20. Honestly, if you thinking of the armor changes, I would go a lifesteal. I'd go like medium weight with lifesteal. Anyway, sorry. Ring of Grace, increased healing 10 to 15%. Ring of Robust, increased armor value 15 to 20. Samoflang, oh god, that's a weird name. And DR reduction 50 to 60%. That's nice. Seal of Empress, they've reduced the stamina penalty 10 to 5. Tightly wound coil, increased shield granted from 10 to. These are all buffs. This whole entire thing is buffs. Tomb Dweller Rings, increased max stat count 1 to 3. The vacuum seal has its range increased from 100 to 150%, and the shield granted from 10 to 15%. And the shield breaker mutator, they changed to shielding strike. Max upgrade now grants charge attack. Now grants charge attack a damage bonus based on the amount of shield present and does not consume the shield. So those are your big survivability changes that they put into the game to accordingly offset the ring and armor changes that they've made. So sound off on how you think about that. Some of these sound really good. Honestly, seems like you could do like a medium or low end armor build tied with a health and a life steal, which could be really fun. Weapons, the Rune Pistol mod, Soul Brand, converted to Aurora instead of a single burst AoE. The effect now travels with the player while active, so that they may mark enemies they come in contact with. Okay, I don't think I use that, so I don't know much about that. This is the archetype changes. Challenger, Rampage, reduce the Rampage damage requirements to trigger Berserk from 400 per stack to 135 per stack. Increase movement and reload speed while active. Okay. Juggernaut added reduced melee stamina costs. So Challenger got some changes, probably to offset as well the armor stuff. Now we're into bug fixes. Looks like they fixed some interesting bugs. I don't know that any of these, I haven't heard much about like crazy bugs right now with anything, but they've made some changes to engineer with the turrets doing, not all turrets doing the heavy damage, overclock problems, turrets not desummoning, triggering co-op skills, challenger bug on multiplicative damage. The challenger might, I wonder if this is going to cause it to deal less damage. They essentially fixed the bug causing Rampage to deal multiplicative damage and fixed an issue where Rampage stopped increasing damage after imbuing a weapon with an element. I don't know if that's a nerf, if that's going to nerf it, but it's a bug, so it can't be considered a nerf. Archon, they fixed an issue where a player was down in Havoc form. The Havoc form skill would still be active when revived. Visual on Hunter fixed. Fixes to summon or handle. Yeah, so these are just general fixes. And then they've made some passes on gear and items and fixed some of the bugs here as well. And there are a bunch of overall issues and bug fixes across the game. These are just straight up QOL updates. I haven't played in a minute to be able to give you guys accurate information on like if this is actually going to change anything. I think most of this is probably just tied to like some of it I've seen is like visual effects stuff. I don't think anything is game changing as much as it's probably just annoyances that people have seen and now they've kind of come in and fixed those up for y'all, as well as the enemies and the UI. So that's really nice. And as well as with audio. So a lot of bug fixes across the board. Obviously, this is a QLL update, and every QLL update is probably going to have a ton of these. So that's always really good to see. In terms of miscellaneous fixes, every single one of these is getting stuck just about. So fixing a lot of issues where players were getting stuck, probably interacting and or in an area or dodge rolling into something and with collision errors. So that's really it. Nothing. The biggest surprise, y'all, is definitely obviously the Aberration Domination event. We know nothing about this, so this is really cool. I didn't see a trailer for this either, so I think this is literally going to be kept a secret on what we can get and how this is going to work starting tomorrow. Outside of that, we already knew about the armor changes. We knew about the challenger changes. We knew about the ring change, and at least now we have that down in paper tied with these QL updates and the gear item list changes. These guys right here were the biggest new thing to come out of this. Sound off in the comments on what you think. Are you going to check out this Aberration event? Is loadouts and these changes enough to bring you back into the game? I'm really hoping we hear about DLC soon now that this is out, especially since Tragic teased that earlier today. And yeah, make sure you guys like and subscribe and join the Filthy Casual Club. Thank you all so much for hanging out. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. And sorry that I lost my voice like through it, man. Wow. I gotta get well, y'all. Gotta get well. Until next time, I'm Hitmanbk.